Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission to order. First order of business is the approval of the May 4th meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? Questions, concerns about them? Okay. Any objection to unanimous approval? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. We do not have our secretary here tonight. Is there a volunteer?
Why are you looking at me?
Because the last meeting you
Experience.
said you would do it.
You have experience.
Mostly, that's why.
Okay.
Did you really say
Oh.
that?
Yeah, because Richard was going to do it this
Yes.
last
I did it.
time. And you said if he did it this last time, that you would do it the next time. And I will do it the next time.
Oh.
Julie?
And if she's not
Thank-
back
If
by
she's
then,
not here?
then
Jamie's
I-
not
Thank you,
Okay,
Kevin,
yes.
for keeping track of that change.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I will
Thank you,
take
Amy.
minutes
You
from
can-
the recording
you can watch it on YouTube to
Yeah.
watch again. Thank you. We appreciate that.
and watch it on YouTube.
45 times it takes.
Okay, the board members' terms, we have 4 applications have been turned in, and it looks like the mayor will make the appointments on June 27th. So we'll hear, our next meeting would be time to reorganize or hear who our members are. So we'll move right along now. First, we have the parks report, so I guess Guy's on here for first.
All righty.
Guy's on first.
It's lengthy, of course. It's been busy. This spring's been very busy. Building maintenance stuff. Just worked on the pool. We repaired a crack in that before it was filled. The Rancho House and Quail Ridge Park shelter, we had to fix the soffit because the squirrels chewed through and got into the inside.
Was a squirrel relocated?
Well, we put metal over it this time, so hopefully that keep them from chewing. Continue to maintain ball fields and facilities. Of course, this time of year it's very busy with that. Soccer is going on, so the crews out there, they paint lines. Weekend tournaments. So far, I think the season's been going pretty decent. The Owen Skelly Field, which is the old Babe Ruth Field, they're utilizing that. The high school, the JV team has been using it. So, yeah. Mowing and trimming was going very, very well. But now with this dry weather, it's kind of slowed down a bit. So we're just having to deal with kind of the weed pressure and stuff like that. So the majority of this month is spent with landscaping. We have all the landscapings that have to be taken care of, and a lot of flowers planted, annuals planted, and actually we've been out watering a lot, especially all this new stuff out here in Rancho Way.
Which looks great, by the way.
It
Yeah.
does look
Drive it
fabulous.
every day. It looks
It
so
does.
good.
Yeah, I have to give a lot of credit to our landscaping lead and crew that go out and take care of all that stuff. I mean, it's a very tedious job, and there's just so much. Once you get through it all, you're just turning right back
Start again.
around and starting over again. So, give a lot of credit to the crew on that one. The planter box at Liberty Center, those are just some of the examples. Planter box out like the new ones out here on the tunnel. The ice cream store over there on Dubuque and Cherry. New planters that we put flowers in as an example of what we've been putting for flowers.
That's one of those things, though, that it seems like a decadence, but it goes such a long way to making the town look
Yeah.
wonderful. It really, really
Yeah,
does.
just little extra touches here and there. So
Yeah, but
Yeah.
It goes so far. Really,
Yeah.
much appreciated.
Yep. So right now they're looking pretty decent, but if we don't get rain, I don't know if we're going to be able to give enough water to them. So we'll see how it goes. In addition to landscaping, we had that storm that slipped through here on May 7th, and we had all the corn stalks that we had to deal with
Oh, yeah.
over Centennial Park and that development. I mean, we hauled off truckloads of corn stalks, and if you look in the pictures, the very last picture is the mountain of corn stalks that we hauled off.
How did you-
with the streets
With
department?
sand streets.
How did you
yeah.
clean? How do you get those up?
Just various ways, like the street department. They did a lot of the streets. The residents would bring it out to the street, and then they'd take a skid steer and pick them up and put them in a truck.
Hmm.
We had to do a lot of raking out of landscaping, and we used some mowers with baggers, and we just used multiple
Oh my
ways of
gosh.
picking that stuff up. But yeah, it took a long time, a lot of man hours to clean that up, but we got through it.
I heard a few people who live in that area say how grateful they were to have the city's support because it was just ridiculous how many, like, they didn't know what they were going to do with them. So thank you for that.
The fence line at Centennial Park looked like a massive
It
snowdrift.
did. It did. It was just crazy.
So
Reminded us we're still kind of a rural community.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
No, I'm not complaining about
We're in Iowa,
the
in case we
farmer, but-
forgot.
yeah, it just caused a lot of extra work, which happens, If you're out on West Penn Street by the Casey's, you'll notice that the old city logo on that welcome sign has been removed. Tim and I actually removed that, and they came out. The company that's going to etch the lettering in it, the new logo, they came out and sandblasted it to give it a fresh look. And next Monday or Tuesday, they're supposed to be here to put the stencil on it and sandblast it and put the whole new city logo on it. So look forward to that. Attended meetings with Shive Hattery this past month. City admin building is coming along quite well. Next year by this time, they should be in it. We'll see.
I had a question from someone. What is the very top part of the building?
I'm not sure on that. Yeah, I think that's glass on the front there, but
It's kind of like a separate
yeah,
thing.
I can't honestly say that. I have to dig into
Yeah.
that and look.
The plans.
Yeah, look at the plans. Along with Shive Hattery, they have the upcoming Penn Meadows Park, the North Parking Lot project coming up. It's going out. It's gone out to bid, and bids will be opened up on June 7th. And hopefully the bids come back well. We'll see. We kind of got a little late on. It's a quick turnaround on this one. But anyway, right after the 4th of July weekend, that's when they're supposed to move in and start tearing out that north parking lot. So
Side note, when is the city admin building supposed to be completed?
it should be done about this time next year.
Oh, wow.
So when you're talking about tearing out parking lot at Centennial, you're talking about which piece?
You mean at Penn Meadows?
At Penn Meadows?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're back to Penn Meadows.
Yeah, I'm back to Penn
Oh,
Meadows.
you're back to, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what's
We all
going
know
out to
that.
bid. Yeah.
That's the
Yep.
new- that's-
So I mean, I could send this map down,
Yeah.
but the old parking lot's gonna get a couple of additional islands. Well, the one that's there is gonna get moved, and then we're gonna have a second one. So it's gonna be down, back up, traffic. Of course, there'll be trees and stuff planted in that, and it's gonna have an asphalt overlay
And
But
what
if
was the reason for the island again? Somebody
Uh,
asked me. I didn't know.
because of our ordinance. We
Oh,
require.
you for trees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We're just going along with our own ordinance. If we
Okay.
expect the residents to do it or business to do it, we do it too.
Okay.
So
So it's not for safety or any. It's
No.
for the ambiance of.
you have to
having
have
it.
so many for so many parking lot stalls. You have to have so many trees
Trees.
within a certain
Okay.
area.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. So that's going to get a new asphalt overlay with the new islands. There will be some tile work done because the water's boiling out in one area, so that'll be fixed. Curb around it. And then if you go to the west of that parking lot, that's where the addition is going to be. There will be some stormwater components of that also, where there'll be some permeable pavers, kind of like out at Centennial Park.
That was my question. Is that just on the west side of basically the new parking lot, or is
Yes.
that any of
No.
the new park
No,
or any
not
of the
the new.
existing?
That water will actually flow down and into that area. So anyway, look forward to that coming up. However, it's gonna limit the splash pad and the playground, so we're gonna have to ask people to utilize the south side of Penn Meadows parking, so they can use all that at the Owen Skelly Field. They can use that new parking, and they can use the old previous paver parking lot. So people are gonna have to walk over to use those items. So just to forewarn people.
And that's one of those things, the city's real good at putting all this information on the website.
Yeah.
People will go to every week of warning about what's going on and where parking's limited or anything. So hopefully people have access to that and share with your neighbors who don't have access to the website.
Yep. Another meeting we had with Shive Hattery was the Centennial Park next stage. We're just still trucking forward with that. We're having to phase it. So the first phase will be the stage. So we're just moving forward in that. Maybe you have more to add that you might know. So
Well, sounds like the plans and the fundraising is going, well among the community, I
It's
know.
moving.
And keep spreading the word and getting people to support it. And anywhere I go, it's very positive. So
Is that a break ground next year?
well, looks like we'll have Blues and Barbecue there next year, and then shortly after that, they'll start in. That's the plan.
Sure.
So we'll see how it goes, but that's kind of what we're shooting for.
If it would then follow to plan, would they be having Blues and Barbecue at Centennial then in 25?
No, it'd probably be an off year.
Okay.
Be my guess.
take a year.
Be an off
That's
year.
what they've been saying is 1 year off.
Yeah, 1 year
once
off.
Construction starts.
Yep.
And then the following.
Sure.
I'm assuming they might pick up more of the city slate stuff. We'll see how it goes.
So when you say off year, no blues and barbecue?
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
Yes, I don't think we quite know that yet. If it might be a modified version of Blues and Barbecue. So
And I assume I've heard, they lay out Blues and Barbecue kind of like what that's going to be laid out when the center is built. So
Yes,
where the
this
eating
year will be.
areas and different
mhm.
people kind of get a feel on
Mhm.
that's where the stage will be and event center and things. So
Yep. Moving on, we did have some time to do some training through our city program, the Target Solutions, and then IMAU. We did our chainsaw, brush cutter, safety, and emergency preparedness on May 9th. I would like to thank Heritage Christian School and students for their service work completed on May 5th. Students and teachers assisted park staff with mulching trees at Penn Meadows, Centennial Park, and removing sticks and limbs at Cornerstone Park. They do this annually. We get over a lot of work in a short amount of time. It takes a little bit of planning ahead of time, but it's worked out great over the last few years. So, Tim, he hosted Grand Elementary first grader students on May 5th at Penn Meadows. Students asked questions and were given a brief snapshot of what we do within the Parks Department. Everyone had a great time from what I hear. And Tim, do you want to add anything to that? You were there.
Yeah, bunch of first graders. I had three basically homerooms that rotated between myself and then police and fire. And we just I opened it up.
Yeah.
My theory was just open it up to lots of questions, which they did, and that was easier than me just sitting there and spieling at them with information or things that they weren't interested in. So
and you had all the answers.
Yep.
What kinds of questions did they
I
ask?
tried.
First graders.
Oh, just questions about the playgrounds, the splash pad,
Yeah.
mowing,
Good.
the favorite part of my job, those
Mhm.
types of questions.
What
So
is your favorite part of your job?
I just was telling them probably just being able to get out and just do anything out and about instead of having to do the office work stuff, which I know Guy and I have to do office work, which comes with it. But just getting out and about and going mowing or something. So,
Playing in the park.
yep.
That's one nice
Yep.
thing about our job. I've always loved about this job. It changes for the season,
Yep.
and you get to do a vast variety of things. So we always say we're the jack of all trades, master of none. So
That's very
Yeah,
humble.
for sure. Yeah.
all right. So Liberty Center, the fountain is out. The waterfall is running. We had to put a new pump in there, and that seems to be working okay. The irrigation, we're having some issues with that. They have to replace some valves. So right now it's not irrigated. It's starting to turn a little brown. So I'm starting to hope it doesn't.
Somebody asked if all the trout aren't caught out of there before it turns hot.
Yeah, they
Do
die. That's
Just
right.
die.
They do. Yep, they're cold water fish.
Yeah, and do you have to clean them out?
We have only had to pick up maybe
not a
just a
lot.
small handful of them.
Yeah,
Most are
So most
They-
get fished out, yeah.
they do get fished out.
You have like a last minute call, like, please.
Yeah.
We have, as many years as we've
Fishermen
done
wanted.
it, we have not had a problem
That's
with it.
great.
So
and the
yeah.
water's warming fast, so get out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
and get them.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the sailboaters ask about that.
Oh.
yeah. Let's see. The splash pad is up and going. We actually had it going the week prior to Memorial Day, so we like to give it kind of a little trial run before Memorial Day. So everything's working fine there. Knock on wood. Let's see here. Oh, again, I wasn't there, but park staff participated in the Remarkable Rigs event on May 13th. We had some of our equipment out there, and again, Tim was there. So if you have anything you want to input on that.
All right. Yeah, just lots of kids.
The kids love that. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
doing it.
they come through and get to climb all over and inside trucks and
Yeah.
whatever else that everybody
My-
has out there. So
My favorite picture, and I put it in there, is the one
With the little
with
boy.
the little boy in the bucket.
He's
in
so
the bucket,
cute.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was in one of our pieces of equipment that was out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Along with that, park staff inspected and added new safety wood chips to our playground areas in preparation of the playground crawl on May 20th. So that sounds like that went over well too.
Traffic jam in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so.
using Deerfield. Yeah.
And planning and preparation for Blues and Barbecue for July 8th is underway. We've attended a few meetings, going well. It seems like it gets easier every year because it's just, I think we fine tuned it and improvements happen. So like the trail that goes down to the school, so that now we don't have to have busing.
Mhm.
Oh,
People
yeah.
can walk. So there's just, yeah. Other than that, I'll open it up to questions.
Is there something on the website if people want to volunteer? Can
Yes,
they
there
sign
is.
up, right? There's
Yeah.
a spot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's even a VIP section
Oh.
for Blues and Barbecue.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't
Yeah,
really
you get
notice that last year. Was
VIP
it there
parking
last year?
and-
No, it's
Oh, okay.
new
That's
this
that
year.
new?
Good.
I was thinking, wow.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good website for Blues and Barbecue and different opportunities for volunteering. Several things are full, and I know they still always need.
Mhm.
Were you guys responsible for putting the dog with the flag and the frisbees and the balls up at the dog park?
No,
Mm-mm.
no, we weren't.
Do you know who was?
Not sure on that
Well,
one.
whoever that mystery person is has gotten lots of very good feedback from the dogs and the dog owners.
The dogs would like to submit some feedback.
So there was a big, huge bag of balls,
Oh,
and then
Just recently?
frisbees that there was a big crate, and I think they're still up there, and it says the North Liberty Dog Park. Then there was a dog, and on both gates, and then it had a flag.
Well, Angela,
I wonder if
Angela, she's the one who takes care of a lot of that programming and stuff out there.
Okay.
she did.
She probably did something, maybe.
You may want to ask her, but I have to tell you, it's been well received. All the dogs, they've had a great time. So anyway, but it was really nice over Memorial Day weekend, to have that, and it was just kind of a cool. It was really busy, and
Did you get the email about the aggressive dogs?
what happened?
Well, maybe it hasn't been sent out yet, but there's kind of a trend of very aggressive dogs, and there's certain breeds, and people are not wanting to go there because these dogs are they're very aggressive.
there's a couple that are.
Yep. So we're kind of contemplating how we're trying to brainstorm on what we're gonna do. We don't know yet. So
Ooh, or so are you thinking about like a breed restriction? But that's difficult, I'm sure.
yeah, that has been tossed around.
So has this only been like have these dogs only been aggressive towards other dogs, or have they been aggressive towards people?
Both, mostly other dogs though.
There's been a couple incidents
Yeah.
up there.
Mm.
Yeah.
One when the growing pains with a new
Yeah.
project, still
Of course.
relatively new,
Yeah.
and still come and
But isn't there something when you go apply for don't they have to have like a reference and a vet and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
So wouldn't that vet them out?
You mean as far as the breed goes, or for?
Well, I'm just trying to, like, I know we had to do some stuff and then we got an ID card for Marley
Yeah.
and I was thinking that there was like, I thought there was some questions on there. Have you ever had an incident? Has there ever been a problem or?
But that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, okay.
Self-reported.
All right.
I mean, it's, you can have it on a sign. We have it on signs, and
Yeah,
it's in the paperwork when you
yeah.
register your dog. But people don't follow those rules.
I do, and this is just my opinion from being up there a lot. I do think there are times when there's a lot of dogs. Do you know what I mean?
Too
And
many.
then you just kind of get the feeling, just like you do with people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That there's like too many. Like, I think a few of us need to leave, and I do think that people need to be, cognizant of that.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to have a dog that was, we had adopted her, and she was not an aggressive dog breed. She was like a little white puff, but she could get real snappish if you got in her business because she just didn't like other dogs, and we had to realize that
Yeah.
some dogs can't go to dog parks. Like it's actually like very socially overwhelming for them.
Yeah.
If you're not.
and some young pups are kind of jump up on you.
Yeah, so
Friendly-
it's-
friendly jumps or whatever,
It's funny too because most of us use the large one. It seems really weird. And I think part of it is the people. Like the people want to talk to each other too. So
I was gonna say,
we
yeah,
all
like-
go over there, and then the other two dog parks are vacant. So it seems like those should be used more for people.
What if there's like
You know
an
what I mean?
etiquette
Well,
guide for
The
dogs?
design of the Big Side Dog Park is very conducive to
Larger.
to people gathering, walking the trail while their dog is doing
Amen.
their thing. And sometimes they don't pay attention to what their dog is doing. So
Oh.
we have talked about maybe doing something different on the other side to make more of a loop trail to where people can make the loop. We even contemplated taking the small dog park out so it can do that. But we sent out a survey,
I saw
sent out a
that.
survey, and the consensus was don't do it. So,
Yeah.
they like it the way it is.
But I do think there is an element of people socializing because
Yes.
there are definite times where the
Oh, yeah.
same people are there. Oh, I didn't see you yesterday. I mean,
Yeah.
Which is nice, but I mean, I wonder, is there like, can you have like a quota on the number of people allowed, like, people and their dog
Yeah, who's
allowed,
gonna-
like
You
sort of
don't
like
leave
5
other
Who's gonna
people?
enforce it?
Yeah.
Right.
Who's gonna
Yeah,
enforce
it's
it?
just like, I didn't know if like the lock or, I don't know. It just, yeah, I can see how that would be so hard. And it's also really difficult because some people have, difficult breeds and their dog is perfectly lovely, and it's just like, there's so much stigma.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean,
but
other
at the same
than-
time, no one wants to get like bit. Like you could have
Right.
some bad stuff go down.
what happens at the playground though if there's like an aggressive kid? No, I'm being actually what.
Right.
I mean, again, as someone who had a kid that likes to bite other kids, you apologize
Yeah.
a lot, but not quite the same thing. I've apologized to like half of
Hopefully,
Iowa
yeah.
City.
I think it probably happens on a greater scale at the dog park.
I
So
was
this
just
is one of those
asking.
things that if there are people out there that have some input or some ideas, that's what we're kind of searching for. What's a good way to address this and wanting it to be.
Is there like a
safe
one
and
strike
just for
policy if
everybody.
someone's yeah, like
Yeah, it's
It's
one
tough.
of those things. Trying to provide a nice community environment, and I don't know. I suppose there are other communities have.
Yeah.
uh,
Well, I mean,
people had experience at other communities or anything, but it is a concern, and concerns are brought.
mhm. Well, right now it's self-policing. Everybody should obey the rules, and we don't have staff out there all the time. Which I hope it doesn't get to the point where we have to have a
Bouncer.
staff person out there
Yeah.
all the time.
that would
you
be,
couldn't do it.
yeah, that's too much money, too
Yeah.
much time.
Could you put a camera out there?
We have a deer camera out there currently. We do have the capabilities. We have the box there. We just haven't put it out yet, cameras. But all that's going to maybe that might provide a little evidence.
It doesn't prevent.
Yeah, it doesn't really prevent.
I'm almost guessing if there's been incidents, those are recorded on phones by people, that are, if they are noticing something, they're
Yeah.
recording that to show that this, that is kind of common these days. But
Mhm.
Yeah, I would be really interested what other communities do because this has to have happened elsewhere.
For one, for the size of our community, the dog park's on the small side.
Yeah.
I think what would
Really?
help, yeah, I think if we had another site, another dog park, or expand on that one in the future, you can spread that out a little bit.
I'm guessing if we did a census of dogs in this community, you're
the high
right.
Yeah, it is
so,
crazy. I just met my neighbor. We've lived there for 3 years. This is really bad to say, but across the road from us, I just met her at the dog park.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, I think you live right across." I'm like, and I was so embarrassed, but I was like, it is kind of a
It is.
funny thing. You get
Yeah,
to
a
know
lot of people meet there.
Yeah,
There are, the number
I'm
of
glad I
dogs
confessed that
and
on TV.
the size of
Hey,
the
I
community.
confess that my kid bites a lot of kids. Sorry.
Okay, so we're one.
We're keeping quiet.
Another one
I
of
was
those
just gonna
growing
say, we're
pains
not gonna
things.
interrupt.
Thanks for
Exactly.
addressing that. So any other questions for Guy? I'll get him up here in a little bit.
Poor William.
Okay, nothing else. We'll move along to Shelley and see what she's got for us this month.
Well, the month of May is a huge month for just summer preparations. Basically hiring all the staff for the pool. Ashley's been very, very busy with pool operations in the outdoor pool. Matt Fielder's been busy hiring rec counselors for summer camp and our night riders biking program, and then just various special events that started in the month of May. We either helped or assisted with. Biggest thing is the outdoor pool, getting that ready. Like I mentioned, they came out and helped us with a crack we have in one of our walls. We also had Randall Waterproofing come in and recaulk prior to filling, and so far everything's going pretty well. You'll see in my report the numbers for the Memorial Day opening weekend summary, and that is I record opening weekend for the number of years, and I would say it ranks up there on the top 5 or 6. Again, we've had, I think our highest was 2006, about $24,000. And then again, that is basically season pool passes, daily pool fees, and concessions are the 3 things that I kind of record off that report. So 2006 was one of our largest years, but we've had some, again, all dependent on Mother Nature. Back in 2007, we only took in $2,000. So, I mean, it just depends on a lot of different factors. But this one is definitely a big one. Good rebound, I think, from the pandemic and just getting back into just normal operations, I guess. So that was good to see. We did have to close early for clarity. Again, that is basically bather load. As soon as we get the rush, it just can't keep up. So kind of similar to Guy mentioned, the pool can only take so much and take so many people once we hit that wall. And if staff can't see that bottom of the pool, then we have to close it. So we did close at 4 o'clock, I think, both on Monday and maybe it was Sunday and Monday.
So does the filters just kind of work through the afternoon and evening, and then it's better the next day?
It clears up with time, yes. We are planning this weekend to do noon to 4 for open swim, and then have a 2-hour break for it to catch up, since we saw that was kind of the target time, 4 o'clock, that we couldn't see the bottom. That we will do that again this weekend, closing for 2 hours, and then we have a couple rentals scheduled, where this last weekend we didn't have any rentals scheduled. It was strictly open swim, but we just couldn't keep up. So we're going to give that couple hour break for the rental. And then again, as the system, I guess it's also a fluctuation of not having people, then a mad rush, then not having people. We haven't been open this week because of most of our staff are high schoolers and still in school. So our official opening date isn't until next Wednesday, where we'll go back to full operation of the outdoor pool. But this weekend, we're kind of doing a little buffer to see if that helps as we progress up to full hours starting next week. So we'll just see how it goes. And we weren't the only ones. Cedar Rapids pools had to close because of clarity issues. And again, it has a lot to do with just can't keep up with the number of people we have coming to the facility. So we'll
Another
continue to look
similar
at it.
issue like anything.
Like the dog park.
We don't have big enough facilities down the road.
Yeah.
Another bigger swimming pool.
Yep. Matt Fielder, like I mentioned, with summer camp that starts in the month of June once school's out. He's doing a good job of getting all that set to go. And those were the two big things in regards to major things preparing for the month of June was summer camp and the outdoor pool. All the other stuff is pretty normal information, but if you have questions, let me know.
Questions for Shelley? I think the pool is the biggie for this, and if summer's anything like the start of these last few days, it's going to be a good summer for swimming pool.
Does Brian just not like us anymore, or why doesn't he come?
He had a conflict. His daughter's game got moved up because of the heat. Otherwise, he was going to be here, and then that got moved. So then he said he was going to be absent. I can't remember what was last month.
Thank you,
but-
Kevin, for making him
I was gonna
feel
you.
missed.
That's 2 meetings in a row. He hasn't been here.
That's
Like,
reflected in the minutes.
we need good comedy relief.
Noted.
about that.
Comedy relief.
Yeah.
That's good comedy.
Okay. Anything else for Shelley?
Big bold letters.
Well, we kind of go down to our next, where we've asked community input and new ideas to share. What do we got? I had a couple things. Anybody got something to bring up this month?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go
Just
ahead.
say just one thing. We live on Fairview Lane, and some of our neighbors wondered about that. You know, that kind of goofy little halfway roundabout island thing in the middle. If citizens could plant things there, or if things don't grow there, or just making it look prettier.
Your ambassador over there, I've been working with them.
Oh, good.
So we have a design through Casper's Landscaping, and we're looking at redoing that. But I'm at the stage right now where I'm waiting for my city manager to get back, and I'm going to present that to him, see about funding.
Okay. I know some of our neighbors are saying, they'd love to help pitch in water or weed or whatever sort of thing. So that's great.
I think I'm trying to remember the name of the city ambassador out there.
I am too. I am trying to remember too.
Shoot.
It's terrible.
But anyway, there had been talks maybe doing like a fundraising drive, with the residents there, but that really didn't go too far, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think it came down to maybe people would offer their help to do the landscaping, but I think we probably just, now that Casper's have this design, we probably just hire them to come in and take care of it. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we're looking at that
Great.
currently. So
Is that all?
you.
It's not concrete.
no, it's
It's
very small. It's
Okay.
it's really not a roundabout. It's just
Kind
to
of a
slow
slow
traffic
down.
down. Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
always work to slow traffic
One
down.
of those things, sure.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
It's not very big.
So I had a question about the bike paths. Are those electronic? They're not electronic. Those electric bikes.
Electric bikes.
Do you know what I mean? Are those allowed on?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yep.
Because they can go up to
It's like
like
a moped.
35.
I know. Yeah. Well, there is I'm not sure what it is.
20.
Is it 20? Okay. There is a trail.
Supposed
A
to be
limit?
There's a limit.
And they're supposed to have pedals.
True.
The bikes, they
Yeah.
are e-bikes with pedals, not just
Yeah.
motorized vehicles.
Yeah, we have been fielding a few complaints on that.
Yeah, I got one from somebody in our neighborhood about it. So interesting.
The golf cart thing, I mean, it's allowed. I know they're even contemplating the not four-wheelers, but the
Gators.
UTVs. Yeah.
ATVs.
The Gator
Side by
style, yeah.
sides, in this, within, on street.
City
Streets,
streets.
yeah.
Street.
Would
But-
they be able to be on a bike path?
I don't think those would be allowed. I sure hope not.
I saw that the University of Iowa and some sections down by where I work have some signs up that there's certain stretches you cannot have an e-bike.
Oh, really?
for
Oh,
safety.
really?
I don't know if that's a temporary thing or
Huh.
what, but I noticed those.
I think we're at a stage right now where we just don't know which way to go with it.
Right.
But I think it's eventually
Critical mass, yeah.
the issues are going to keep increasing.
Yeah.
Well, they go.
We forced to do
I
something.
mean, this person said that they were in a kind of a blind spot. This person came around,
Yeah.
wasn't really paying attention. They just about clipped them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really hadn't thought about it because it's pretty.
Yeah, they can zip right along.
And there's various types of e-bikes. There are throttle e-bikes that still have a pedal, but they operate off a throttle. There's e-bikes that are assist. But as I've reviewed the ordinance with people, it's a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit,
Okay.
and they have to have pedals. It can't just be in either motorized or even those small children's electric bicycles are not supposed to be on there.
So like the little scooter things, those.
Sure, or just an
I mean, for
electric
like,
bike. but-
Yeah.
For somebody that's disabled to ride their scooter, those are usually
No, like the little kids
The
that
little
have the
kids,
scooters
electric
that are
ones.
like.
They're motorized.
Stand on
That's
electric.
questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been issues in neighborhoods.
But then, like, where would you go?
Good question too. Where is it safe for them to
Right.
ride?
Yeah, I mean, that,
I don't know. I'm sure we're going to
I
hear
think there's
more
a lot
about
of
it.
More
talk.
debate
There's
to
a lot of
come.
Yeah.
talk about
We're
those
just-
type of things as
Tip of the
like
iceberg.
the scooters. Those are they're not really safe on the street, And
I mean, and I think
according
that
to
we
the
should
ordinance, they don't have
encourage
pedals, and they are electric.
like non-car modes of transportation.
Yeah.
Good for the
Yeah,
environment.
we like people to utilize the trails, and a lot of e-bike
Mhm.
people are out on bicycles and using what you'd call the assist that kicks in on hills and things like that.
Yeah.
But there are some that are they are e-bikes with pedals, but you can set them so they have a throttle, just like a moped or whatever.
Hmm.
Just use throttle, never pedal.
Such an
So you basically, you have to
American
work.
thing to do, isn't it?
Like, yeah, like,
Bikes have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so basically, you can't go on the bike path unless you're like gonna sweat a little.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like,
So we like everybody
can't
to
be like that lazy.
utilize the paths, but there are some safety concerns. I've been on some of those blind spots before.
Yeah.
But we know where they are. So everybody out there, just be respectful and careful. And I've always about the passing on bikes and pedestrians on bicycles. And I don't know if you know, I'm an avid biker, but people that take the whole trail walking and then don't have earbuds and nobody hears you when you say
Right.
biker behind you, or I have the bell and things like that. People need to that you share the trails with bikes and with other other walkers. And when walking your dog, you don't have the leash clear across the trail.
Mhm.
I ride them daily, so sorry.
Well, and I also think pedestrians too. People need to be on the lookout for pedestrians walking
yes.
across.
Yes.
It scares me to death sometimes.
I think our trails are utilized. That's what's people are out there. We just all need to be careful,
Yeah.
and but we really appreciate the trails as they continue to grow. Mhm.
Tell you what, if when we have topics like this, I don't like saying a lot because I don't want to throw out the wrong information. But if I knew it ahead of time, I could have brought the ordinance with me tonight, and we could have
Sure.
Mhm.
discussed it. So
Let's put that down for next month.
yeah, send
Yeah,
those
sure.
that's
Yeah, that's
those
really
That's a good point.
send those ideas to me,
Yeah.
and then I can prepare for it.
Yeah,
Sure.
the bike ordinance. Well, the guy knows what's on the Fox Run update on Fox Run.
Yeah,
we
so-
get a lot of questions about that, and
Sure.
so
So the May 23rd council meeting, we approved for Shai Fadry, our city engineer, to move forward with design of the trail. and some like tile work and stuff like that. So that's been approved for them to start design of it. So we're looking at over winter, get all of our bid documents together and design and everything, and go out to bid. So come next spring, early summer, that project can get off the ground and go. So it's
Great.
it's moving forward. And along with that, there's a playground area too. So
And that is on the Fox Run Park on the west side of Scalespin
the
Road.
pond, the Fox Run Pond area.
That's-
That will tie a lot of the sidewalks that just dead end into that park. So they make a loop, tie it in. So it'd be a nice. I like the loops, getting people walk it, and they get to be close to a pond and stuff like that, and it's kind of nice.
Thank you. Yeah, but things as with highway work north of 240th on 965, we're going to start seeing stuff all over town in the parks and things going on. There's progress, and keeping the community growing, active. Anything else?
And I don't know if you saw, but North Liberty is rated, and we have an A rating in the country for living in North Liberty
Of course.
because
As
of
we
parks
should.
and rec.
What?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Celebrate that.
Yeah.
Press
A
release.
plus.
I reminded my kids of this as they were moving to Florida. What they're going to is a B minus.
It's a B my.
Well, speaking of those things, we've got a lot of events coming up.
Yeah.
So it is free fishing weekend.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That means the adults and kids fish without a
License. Yeah.
at any of the ponds in town. Okay. And then the kites. What time are the kites out there? I forgot to write down the
11 to 3, I believe,
On Saturday, right?
time.
on Saturday. Yep, out at Centennial Park.
And it's supposed to be warm and 10 to 15 breeze, so it should be about right. But that's a great thing to go out and see. And tomorrow night, I think, is the first Rancho House concert. So I encourage everybody to come out to those. And then Camp NL, we want to inspire Camp North Liberty, I guess. Is that you, Shelley?
Yeah, actually, one of our rec staff, Matt Messick, is putting on that event and working with others. I think he actually working with the Boy Scouts that actually doing a camping. In the past, they would have a competition for the PTOs to camping, at the backyard, and then the majority of however many partake in the certain school district would compete, and that money would go to the PTO. It's kind of dwindled in, I guess, participation, and so this year they're doing it at the rec center grounds, tent camping, games, kind of working with the concert on Friday night, and then just doing a bunch of stuff. So you'll see more coming up on that, but that is scheduled for June 23rd. But more information will be forthcoming, or go to the rec page and you'll find information there, or the city page. I know they.
So that's
City
a family
community
camp
events.
out on the
Mhm.
grounds there.
Yep.
Okay,
hmm
that's neat.
Those that camp will get then a free pass to the pool, just
Okay.
a bunch of different things in correspondence with it. So
Just another one of those innovative ideas that make our community A-rated and unique.
That's right.
Okay, and then the Joyriders Jubilee. What is that?
that was similar to last year. It was held last year, part of the City Slate events at Penn Mills Park with Anything Wheels. They kind of did a parade. Again, more information, City Slate information. You can go to the City Slate website, or we'll have more information, I'm sure, posting here as the events come closer.
So there's a lot going on. A lot of it is we don't have to travel anywhere to, right here in town. A lot of fun activities to go. And not on here, but aren't we going to have fireworks this year?
Fireworks is scheduled for the Monday.
On the 3rd, July
Yes.
3rd.
Oh,
So North Liberty's going to have their own.
where are they going to be at? Centennial?
I believe Penn Meadows.
Penn.
Penn Meadows Park.
Like,
Yeah.
like the winter ones?
Yeah.
And I think I've read.
That is also, I know an email just came out on the city website on community events. I know it was listed there. I don't know all the details on that, but
It makes it easy shooting fireworks off at Penn Meadows because of the fencing. They can just use the ball field fencing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sure.
very good.
It's
Surround.
contained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
safety.
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 Yeah, can't
Yeah.
get too close.
If we had it out at Centennial, we have to
Oh,
put snow
yeah.
fence around the whole area.
So you have to put a fence around where the fireworks are being shot off.
Yeah, but it has to be a certain size.
Huge.
Yeah,
Size,
to keep
yeah.
people away, yeah.
And it all is based on how high they go. So if you shoot
Oh,
really,
really
high
big.
ones, that zone
Really
gets even
big.
bigger. Yeah.
Wow.
so who shoots? Do you guys do that?
No, this hired.
Oh, okay,
It's
because I
hired.
was going to say it's kind
That
of
would be jack of all
dangerous.
trades.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Shoot some fireworks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that will be before our next meeting.
I wondered
And
you had 10
but
fingers.
Blues and
That's-
Barbecue,
Yeah.
Blues and Barbecue will be right after our next meeting.
Yeah.
We'll be all revved up for that
Wow.
because the next meeting is scheduled for July 6th. And it says on
Wow.
here Shelley's going to be absent. So.
I'm going to be absent, so Brian will definitely
Brian
be here.
Ah, there you go.
We'll get Brian
That's
here.
noted.
Oh yeah, we'll note your absence. How dare you have a life?
And guys brought up an
Unnecessary.
excellent point. If we have some questions, probably a good idea to shoot him
Yeah.
an
Sure.
email, and then if there's some information he can give the exact stuff rather than secondhand info. So appreciate that.
I'd like to say I know the ordinance to a T, but I don't know.
Quite, I know enough to be dangerous. but-
Exactly. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention was in conjunction with all the A ratings and stuff, Park and Rec related, is thanks to Richard to take the lead on doing the proclamation. So then July
Oh, I've read
is
that.
Park and Recreation month, basically, and that proclamation hopefully will go through and we'll get a little more rah-rah
Great.
for Parks and Rec. So
Which is great.
So watch that city council meeting or come to that city council meeting and we'll.
They didn't do that last year, did they?
we didn't do it last year.
Yeah,
no.
because I thought that was a great idea.
Mhm.
You know, what a wonderful way to celebrate the community.
Anything else? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Any objection to adjournment? Meeting adjourned.